Hello, and welcome to Family DynamiKs. It's Katherine.
And Liz.
And Ed.
And John.
So we just had Father's Day and a bunch of graduations. So
No, we did not graduate.
Well, no, not us. But I mean, family-wise, we had a bunch of graduations. We had
the other generation.
Yes.
The grads and dads. It's a usual June occurrence.
Yes.
Grads and dads, yeah. We had 3 college graduations of various nieces and nephews. One was my daughter. So obviously to you guys, that was a niece. So Sarah graduated, and then 2 of our nephews graduated, right?
Correct. Yep.
I've got that right. And then another niece graduated 8th grade, or culmination, or whatever you call that.
Going
right?
to high school, correct?
What, John, is that the proper word?
I don't care if there are different words. I think it's just a graduation. That's
Okay,
me, apparently.
Yeah, culmination is serious.
I mean, aren't some college things called why
Yes,
are you even
yes.
differentiating?
I thought it was the other way around. I thought culmination was less serious. Like they used it for not graduations of high school or college. No? Okay.
I mean, look, if there's a ceremony, it's a graduation. I don't know what.
Well, John, if you had a computer, I'd be like, look it up right now.
I mean, this is all very much like our high school, our private, not even just high school, but all of our grade, all levels private education. We're like, we don't know what culmination is. I mean, I feel like I hear it referenced more with younger grades than older, but
Yes,
at the
that's what
same time, I feel like it's used all the time because, 8th grade is the big step, but then also there's things at kindergarten, 5th grade, when you then go on to junior high. I mean, it depends on where you go to school and how long, are they 1st through 8th grade, or, are they broken up, middle school, grade school, high school, all that stuff, junior high.
Yeah, because the middle school one, I feel like you should still get to call it a graduation, but they don't usually.
What middle? Oh, the 5th grade?
Yeah.
Yes, it depends on where you're at in school.
All right.
School.
In school.
A question. And our niece also had a big sort of finishing her residency in medical school, because that's actually, it's called, it has a name for it.
Yeah, I didn't certainly know this with medical school and the many phases.
There's a lot,
of which there are ceremonies when you move from one phase to another. So she had something recently. I don't know.
It's not the white coat ceremony.
No, I remember hearing about the white coat ceremony for the first time when she did it a couple of years ago. I was like, what? I didn't know that's what that was
They
called.
get their doctor's coat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this one was the stethoscope ceremony.
Oh, God. I don't think that's right. That's very funny.
You're a doctor.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, that's
The
my
rectal
namesake.
thermometer ceremony.
That is
You're
another.
serious
It's a
now.
real
John just
eye-opener.
cringed. You're a real doctor now.
Ugh.
So
I was going to say, she is my namesake. We're both named Katherine. So Katherine is a doctor, not me, a doctor, but Katherine, our niece, is a doctor.
Are you going to properly frame that?
What, Dr. Katherine Killmond?
No.
Oh, what?
Well, is she your namesake or our grandmother's namesake?
Correct.
And first and middle name.
We are both named after our grandmother. She is more fully named after her in that she has the same middle name, which apparently Grammy was like, why did you saddle
did
this
not like her
poor-"
middle
Yeah,
name.
it was Aloysius, and she was like, why did you do that to her? But I am a Margaret, Katherine Margaret, which sounds like a nun, so it's different. But yeah, we're both named Katherine, but now she is an awesome doctor. So, but we don't know what that was called, that graduation.
True, but she's still little Katherine.
It is funny because she's also taller than me because I'm short. So yeah, little Katherine is often.
So the 8th grade graduation was our niece, Morgan.
Yeah, that was the most recent. That was the last one in the, right?
Well, some of us missed a graduation party to go to a graduation this last Saturday.
Right.
But let's get back to when this came up, that Morgan, who is my goddaughter's graduation was coming up. I was planning to go to it, but then I get a phone call that they only were allowed 3 tickets.
Oh.
And I was like, when did this ticket thing start for everything now? It used to be like, man, if you can get someone to come and sit through a graduation, especially if it's outside and it's summer and it's hot, you're lucky.
Yeah.
So there was no tickets or, you can only have this many family members come.
No, it was just show up. A lot of people, whoever.
I think the first time I heard of that was something related to college. I don't know. I think I went to my girlfriend Tara's USC graduation and it was like, oh, we're going to get you a ticket if you want to come. Other than that, it was like, 8th grade or high school, it was like, man, if you can get anyone to go to that torture. So I was like, of course I'll go. She's my goddaughter. And I get the phone call. There's only 3 tickets. And so, of course, I'm like, shoot, because there's 3, there's 4 members in their family. One will be actually in the graduation, so that's the rest of the family members.
And it was also like a really inconvenient time-ish.
8 a.m.
In a weekday, right?
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Well, also, I was just like, to get your own child to school or to do anything extra was like, okay, gonna have to figure out how to juggle this.
I'm assuming her younger sister did not go to school that day. She just went to the graduation.
Gosh, don't rat her out for ditching.
What grade is she in? 5th?
It's very serious. She's in 4th.
4th, okay.
Yes, she's really missing pinnacle life lessons.
Yeah, she's going to get written up.
Yeah, and I think she skated by, but yes, they called her in sick, absent, illness. So
a family emergency in the form of a graduation.
So at first, my sister Virginia is so funny. She calls me up and she's like, oh, there's not going to be enough tickets. There's only 3 tickets. So it's going to be myself, Lauren, and Granberry. And I kind of didn't say anything at first because I thought, well, maybe Brian, the dad, and her husband, the main man of the family, maybe there's something going on he can't attend. And they're going on. And then Lauren goes, well, what about dad? Virginia goes, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. She's like, I don't have a ticket for Mom. It's going to go to Brian. I'm like, yeah.
Well, she might have assumed that he had to work, but I would think he did take off from work to do this.
Right. So now she's got to figure out that it's the mom and the dad and the little sister going.
I mean, that's what I assumed. I did not think that Grandmary was swooping in there for a 3rd ticket.
No.
That's hilarious.
So she says, well, we're all going to meet at IHOP afterwards for breakfast. Now, I'll be honest. I have not been to an IHOP. I mean, I don't know if it's been 20 years. So I was kind of intrigued. I was excited.
I've been to the D-Hop recently, the domestic house of pancakes.
What the hell's that?
You just make them at home.
Oh, shut up.
Oh, my God.
I thought, because we're obviously going to get to this very important part of the story, that I thought that you were jumping ahead to that part.
Oh, Lord help us. So I will just say, I did not go to the graduation ceremony, but they got an extra ticket, and our mom was able to go.
Oh,
so she made the cut regardless.
Nice.
And then we all met at the IHOP, and Aunt Rosie went as well, our sister, and Uncle John. And I brought my son Ethan because he decided he was in finals.
Oh.
And I guess if you don't have a final at that time, you don't have to be in class. Try to get the truth out of a 10th grader. Now, he will be adamant that he was telling the truth about having to attend class and not attend class. But he's like, I've got to be at my cousin's graduation. I'm like, you're not going to the graduation, it's just IHOP. Even better. So he's going to
I've got to be at the IHOP post-celebration.
I don't really. Do you eat breakfast in the morning?
I do. I eat a smoothie usually. So I do.
You drink a smoothie? Well, actually, some people eat it. I mean,
no, I will typically go on the treadmill and then have a cool down, really gross smoothie, which I think is very delicious. But
kale, all the stuff.
It's super greens, cocoa powder, protein powder, collagen, fiber.
You're right on track. You're right on track.
Yard clippings, leaves.
If I get
really
one more
good,
of those,
actually.
If I get one more of those like the kava protein shakes, I mean, I don't know if I ever said it out loud, but the algorithm is like haunting me. It's like the Lumi body lotion. Like, your pits, your cracks, your this, smell. You're like, no, stop coming on my algorithm.
You have to do like the not interested. Just please leave me alone.
So now the kava thing's the same way. So
I don't know the kava thing.
Are you guys morning like wake up, have to have breakfast?
I do eat. The only caveat is if I work out. And then I'll work out first, then eat.
Okay.
I'm not I need breakfast in the morning to get going, but I do, I'll be hungry and then I'll eat. But I'm not requiring food to get going.
I mean, we all grew up, especially if you were in grade school up until 8th grade. Mom made us breakfast every morning. There was either oatmeal, eggs, cereal, whatever.
Yeah.
Yes, John, you were the youngest. You were screwed.
It's totally fine, but it is there were some different things.
Yeah.
Mom had that griddle.
I certainly
pancakes, eggs.
Yeah, no, I didn't make myself cream of wheat in the morning. There were mornings I remember that's what's we're having for breakfast. It's a cream of wheat morning. Amazing.
John is flabbergasted.
That didn't continue.
There were times, I forget, it felt like a certain circumstance where, for some reason, I was, on the same track as her, and so she was going to make a fried egg sandwich for herself and then make one for me.
She was not working when we were younger.
Yeah.
Whereas you grew up with her pretty much working the entire time.
What's wrong with cereal every single day for almost your entire life?
Would have been better than the fried eggs that I had to deal with as a child. So I, as an adult, am not really like a morning person, breakfast first thing. So to be at 9 a.m. at the IHOP, where you walk in, you're like, well, what the hell am I doing here? Unless I'm going to have the IHOP. I got to have it.
Yeah, you got to have some IHOPy things.
And
Which they go there because they now have gluten-free options, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Although I do want to point out at IHOP, they're gluten-friendly, which for me was confusing when I read it. I understood what they were trying to say, but it says gluten-friendly.
Yeah, because Ed, you were there too, but no, I feel like, it was like, all right, great, we're going to go. I have to get my son up. He needs food first thing waking up. It is like, low blood sugar or something. You don't get food in him. It's like he barely can function. So I think he had a pre-thing before we even got to IHOP so he could drive in the car. Whereas like I want people like at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm like, have I eaten anything? I'm not saying it's a good thing. Probably the blood type. Hunter-gatherer, nibbler. I was a nibbler. Like
A late nibbler.
A late nibbler.
Snackers.
Basically. So we get there and you're like, well, damn. I mean, the coffee, the smells, you got to have something.
Well, because you're not a coffee drinker. I'm a coffee drinker.
No, what am I going to do here? I mean, so Rosie, our sister's the same way, but I'll have a decaf coffee. And they give you pots of like coffee on your table.
I forgot. They do that. Yes.
Wow, I was impressed by that.
What? You forgot? This is a new thing. This
What?
was not.
No,
Do you remember at old IHOP? They didn't do that, did they?
I think they maybe didn't do it unless you asked for it, but they would give you a pitcher.
Well,
Or
I've
a
been
carafe.
semi-recently, within the last couple years, because Eric loves to go out to breakfast. And I don't usually end up going because I'm working or whatever, but he'll take the kids out to breakfast. There's a couple spots he really likes to go to. And IHOP is on the list. It doesn't happen a lot, but I have been there semi-recently, so I did experience the pot of coffee on the table.
It's
or like, it's like a carafe, right?
Now, they're cranking it out there because we were a table of like, I don't know, 10 people. But we were not the only ones with this idea after the graduation.
Oh.
It was packed. But the wait staff was like, boom, on
Ready.
it. And I'm like, I'm going to eat. I don't need to go back to IHOP anytime soon. And my son had gotten blueberry pancakes, and then he determined they were too blueberry.
No.
I mean, he is not the pea and the princess, it's the pea and the prince. I mean, it is just like,
He's persnickety.
The blueberry and the prince.
yes, because he really does like his pancakes, but it was too blueberry-ish. And it just like, it was like one of those things that Morgan, it was her celebration. She had a great time.
Great.
And, celebrating her. But it was weird. Like, we missed the ceremony. So it was like the pomp and circumstance. Like, we're just meeting for breakfast. No, we're here to celebrate you. She killed it. Got tons of awards that none of us knew
Good
about.
for her.
And God love
Yeah, I
Virginia.
saw some posts about it.
Yeah, Virginia, her posting her text thread. She's like, oh my gosh, wow, holy moly. And then she surprised everybody and sang at the graduation.
Yeah, she played guitar, right?
Right, with another classmate. So I would have been like floored to be at that graduation.
Oh, Morgan.
I was like, why only 3 tickets?
She really flourished at this school. This was a good school for her.
Yeah, she did great. And she's going on to, is it a magnet program in high school? So, yeah, very smart, very impressive. So I just want to go a little shout out.
It was a very nice moment at the IHOP when I realized, oh, this is just another family. That's definitely the father. Can you take a picture so that she could? And then the dad of some family just walked over and took a picture so that Virginia could be in it. That wasn't the move that anyone
nice.
would have asked for, but I'm like, this dude understands. He understands we need the family photo.
I think I was already gone by the group
Yeah,
photo.
you missed the photo, but yeah.
Yeah, because Virginia first wanted to take it. She thought, 'cause she likes to document, events. And she said, let's take it. And Rosie's like, oh my God, no, because we'd had breakfast, so there was so many dirty dishes, and we're all just sitting down. So Rosemary said, "Absolutely
No,
not.
this is not.
We'll go outside." And then some other people lingering, leaving out the side door or whatever. There's no photographic evidence that I was there, but I get aunt credit regardless. Brought the card, brought the flowers, brought a little money.
Nice.
Oh Lord, it's just so expensive. The checks, the cash. All these relatives, all these friends' kids too. Oh my. But then, college graduations, if we skip ahead, we did not go to Utah for Jack's, just his immediate family went, and his brother goes to school there, so it was already there. And it sounded insane because it was like, we got to move kids out of dormitories and apartments into other places.
Classic. Yeah.
And throw a party and attend the graduation ceremony. And Mark and I were going to go, and when we heard the itinerary and what went down those 4 days, we were
Yeah,
like,
because you were mentioning tickets, and Jack told the most hilarious story. He didn't realize that you had to have tickets for the ceremony. I think
ticket
like the
thing
day
again.
before. The day before,
Yeah.
right?
no.
or 2 days before, and he was like, my parents are coming into town. I don't have tickets for this ceremony, and like had to scramble and get tickets.
Yeah, Rosie and I were on a walk, and she said something along the lines like, I just can't even tell Kirk. Kirk will die if he knows. I go, what do you mean? She goes, well, he's hanging out with his friends, and they're like, yeah, I don't know. I got to find one more ticket for the graduation ceremony. He's like, what are you talking about? And like, you need tickets for what would, usually in college, there is your major and then maybe the entire school. Like there's two different levels of graduation.
There's like the whole school, which is
the culmination.
Right. No, I don't know. I think it's still the graduation ceremony.
Yeah, I did experience every facet of this over this weekend, but for William, but not Jack. So
oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll get that story in a moment.
This is the Jack version.
Yeah.
And so the one that they really wanted to attend required tickets. So he called up, his mom, Rosemary, our sister, to be like, what am I going to do? She's like, you better find fucking tickets. She's like, we have paid for 4 years of college. If we get up there and cannot attend the graduation ceremony, your dad will lose his mind. He's like, well, there's this overflow area that you can watch it on a screen. She's like, no.
Watch it on a screen.
I don't know. What is happening in the bursar's office? If the check says Kirk Fogg, you send that person a ticket in the mail.
Right, and they don't use it. So she basically said, like, at the bare minimum, you better get one ticket, and it could be just for your father. So, which I'm like, God, as a mother, I'd be like, it should be for me. But
she's smart, though. She was smart to realize, like, no, Kirk needs to go. If anybody needs to go, Kirk needs to go.
But I got to give it to Jackie. Jack pulled it out and even got a third ticket for his brother to go as well. So it all went swimmingly, but it sounded like so much work. And I was like, thank God I didn't go.
Yeah, because you wouldn't have gone to the ceremony, that's for sure. Because Jack was saying he emailed everyone he could think of asking for tickets.
Even better. He was telling us, like, and I had something that weekend. So I'm like, well, they're flying in Wednesday and we could leave Friday and the ceremony is like Thursday. Okay, great. No, the ceremony was like Saturday. We would never have been there even for the ceremony. He had so much of it wrong that it would have been like, we're here to help you move. I would have lost my mind. So that was sort of like, Lord protected us from going. And then you and Mom actually did go up to our nephew William's graduation up north, Northern California.
Not quite. It's sort of central because it's Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. So yeah, in a way, in between where they live currently in San Jose and where we live in Los Angeles. So we each got, a mid-level drive. But yeah, basically the same. We did not focus on the moving. They were just going to handle that by themselves.
Fabulous. Great.
After we left, because we left on Sunday when technically, the +1 official events were over, and it was like, yeah, now you guys just have to move. Good luck.
So when you say you guys, it's William who graduated and younger brother John Paul who is also still there.
Correct.
Okay. Do they have to clear out of whatever living situation they are in for summer?
Well, considering that I didn't help, I don't know all of that, but yes.
We assume.
So Luke and John Paul are freshmen, so they were in like dormitory situations. So yeah, you're usually not staying in the dorm the next year. So they definitely had to clear out of that. Whereas these two graduates, now theoretically they're in like weird rental houses. Is it fraternity? Is it not fraternity? It's all very confusing to us bystanders. But they... and also didn't pass those leases along or whatever to these younger brothers. Obviously, that would be...
Which is funny because they're both at the same schools.
Luke did. Because
Right.
Luke had this all dialed in another scenario. Had a whole other situation all dialed in. And then basically it all fell apart. And so now he's staying in the same house that his brother stayed in
For next year? Is that...
next year, whether or not he'll stay there the remaining 3+ years of his college career, I don't know. But he is basically, and I don't think he wanted Jack's room, which is really ironic. I think he took another room in the house. So you did not have to help move them, which I would have thought they would want your brawn.
Look, we were very focused on the graduation part of it. So, there was the roommate party Friday night, which we were not supposed to go to, but we went to and was great. And I met no one.
Oh, gosh.
And then Saturday we started off Oh, yeah, this is unofficial activities or partially official. Apparently, some colleges, and the spread of information, all colleges, do a bar crawl the morning of graduation.
I have just started to see that on social. Yes.
Oh, God, that sounds horrible.
College is about self-sabotage and self-destructive behaviors. So why
Is
not
it?
have... I mean, why would you drink the morning of graduation?
That sounds so bad.
Seems a little broad, but okay, but yes, got it.
Right. So, we quote unquote partook in that. James and I.
I was like, Mom
No.
did? Okay.
Mom. No, Mom did not do the bar crawl.
She does love a Bloody
she
Mary.
did a church crawl that morning.
James and I did go to the Mission for church before we went to that. So then just James and I, although it took a lot of walking to find where they were, although it was weirdly, bar crawl is, slight misnomer. I think a lot of people went to like one place. I don't know how many people went to many. My stamp has worn off, so I'm sorry, no evidence.
Wow. Did they card you?
They carded everybody because I think they were trying to, just be totally equal to everybody's like, well, yes, obviously you are a dad or whatever, but we're carding because I mean these graduates now technically should be over 21, but it's
Right,
a college
but-
situation, so
Yeah.
extra careful. And also at 7:30 in the morning, it makes no sense.
Is that early?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, although if you had an 8:30 graduation, you got to get there at 6.
What on earth?
I don't know about
Wait,
that.
so did you go to IHOPs?
I see.
That was actually pretty good, Ed.
Yeah, so we had one beer and then we left. So we were although we also got to wait in a line to get in for 15 minutes, and then we were inside the bar for like 10 minutes, and then we had to move on because there were other things to do.
What time did you go to Mass?
7:00.
Good Lord. Okay. I mean,
Anyway.
that's commitment.
I mean, monks made beer. What do you think they were drinking at Mass?
Yes. Very true.
Sure. So yeah, he had both his graduations because who knows what the real deal is, but like the university altogether did not have one. But his College of Engineering, right, that was the big graduation in the stadium. And then he had his like major graduation, which was actually 2 majors, which I'm not remembering at the moment, but that was the small graduation. But both of those were on Saturday for him. One was like mid-afternoon, one was late afternoon. So then they packed in. So before that, we had a breakfast or whatever with his girlfriends and their whole family that was in town. So that was the next
Holy
activity.
Toledo.
And then we went to that first graduate. We also, Grandma and I were like, oh, maybe we're only going to go to one of these 2 graduate. Oh, we're going to both? Okay. Sounds good. Sounds so good. The first one was slightly shady. It was also strangely informal.
The way you said shady.
It sounded like
It's
suspicious.
sketchy.
Yeah.
Not like there was a tree. You're like, it was kind of shady.
The
like,
degrees were like printed on
We did
regular
it was
paper.
legit.
No.
Felt fake.
Look,
I don't know.
Just
Lauren,
photocopying 'em right
that
there.
was not how I said it. I was referring
Oh my
to
God, John said it like shady.
the original meeting.
These graduations slayed.
Yeah, so it was basically around this like one tree, and they had these like 2 tables and a microphone, and then like
Two tables and a microphone.
John, we
Story
could not,
over.
We could not do it. You can't sync it up like okay. So we won't interrupt anymore. 2 tables
as
and a
if I
microphone.
care. It's not. Is this entertaining in any way?
It is for us. I don't know. Keep going.
We had these poor kids who were graduating didn't even sit down. They were just like standing in a semicircle wherever you want.
Oh, jeez.
And then we had some random speeches, and then they gave them some stuff, and then it was over.
That does sound shady.
It wasn't
Exactly.
well engineered?
Correct. I did.
Nice, Ed.
It was funny. I dropped some people off and then parked and then was walking by myself through this campus I may have never been on. And so I was like trying to figure out where I'm supposed to go. And I'm walking by all these other graduations. And I'm like, okay, I think it's not that one or not this one. And yeah, one was like really well set up and had a tent. And then I had a sign that said electrical engineering. And I was like, that's not it. I got to keep going.
What kind of engineering is he?
The part I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
I believe
Civil engineering.
Yeah, it's civil, and I think the second major that got added on or whatever was environmental. So that they had a dual mini graduation,
Oh, okay.
whatever the appropriate phrases are. And then we had a nice, hour and a half to just wait until the next one. Other people had tighter or looser schedules, so ours was maybe okay. But then it was a full stadium, beating sun, very
Outside?
long. Yes. It was, yeah. So that was, but it was just the College of Engineering. So,
Wow, okay.
including the masters. So it was like, what? Like 4 rows of masters? Get out of here.
Oh my gosh.
We don't like you. was my
Did they
thought.
like call names at
Yes.
both?
Did
Yeah.
mom stay awake through all of this?
Yeah, she was great.
What?
Fine, yeah.
There was
Wow,
no
amazing.
nodding and waking up mid-song.
Oh, who knows?
Oh,
She
wait,
was
there's
fine.
no song.
There's not really songs.
Oh, there were
songs.
Well, because I think we had at least 3 musical performances because the band was there.
Oh, okay.
Although one was a song actually, that might have just been the like school song. It's hard to remember. There were definitely 2 marching band songs. We had to pad this out. It had to be an hour and a half.
Oh, geez.
But the new thing, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this. Right, we're all familiar with. Okay, it's a graduation. You're in line, sort of. Actually, apparently not officially in any actual specific way. And then you have a little card with your name on it, right? Then you're
Right.
gonna give that card for them to say, fine. This was new. After you walk away, you could just leave because the whole graduation was already over. They'd already done the thing with the tassel. It was just like a rolling people leaving once they started doing the names. It was
all
wild.
chaos, it sounds like.
Did you see that thing that went viral? That poor person that butchers people's names so horribly because they even put like John Smith phonetically. So it'd be like Johan Smythe. It was like, what? I mean, it was
no.
horrible. And you think, yeah, is there any way to help these poor people who have to say all these hundreds of names? It went viral because how bad it was.
Oh,
It
geez.
didn't matter how basic the name was. And then someone finally like went back on the mic and like said their name. Like, you're going to say my name right. I worked 4 years for this.
Oh,
Like,
gosh.
it was like the name like Fred. And she was like, Fred. Like Fred. And he was like, Fred. It was like, oh my God, like how are you looking down and not so
Just some of these are normal names that you should know.
Yikes. Yeah, it was like there's no way there's hundreds of these unique names. Like it was like no.
I did see that same thing, and it turns out that there was some helpful pronunciation for that person.
Right.
That was not the name spellings. Then she was trying to read those instead of use those phonetically, which was real weird sounding.
Oh my gosh.
Fred. Red. Oh, you pronounce the F-A-H-R?
Right. So
what's
if you,
happening?
If you do the phonetic spelling, but then if you tried to just read
it.
that,
That exactly.
Yeah.
that
Okay,
doesn't make sense. Yeah.
So question, Killmond, he is a Killmond.
Incorrect. He got to go wherever he wanted. There was no
Oh!
order.
Not alphabetical?
Nope.
Not height-wise?
Good and bad. It meant you got to like sit with your friends. So then you had like multiple people in a row. So like his 2 roommates or whatever. There were a couple people in a
Wow,
row
okay.
that were like, oh, or not me, but other people in this group from this family know them. Okay, great. On the other hand, they could be anywhere. So there was a weird like, all right, we're like the 12th row and we can barely see you from, 400 feet away. But so we were like waiting for the signal that they were coming up because you couldn't rely on names.
Wow.
Whoa.
Okay.
I'm impressed that Mom made it through the whole weekend with all these multiple events.
Well, yeah, only 2 more events to go. So then we had, a dinner afterwards.
Of course. Where were you having the brunch with his girlfriend's family and these dinners?
Well,
Restaurants or?
The good news was, okay, so you have a college in San Luis Obispo. The house we stayed at, which was very nicely, a friend of their family, great. That was in Pismo Beach, so different city, 20 minutes or so. And then the roommate party was in a different city on the other side, so that was 20 or 30 minutes. That was actually it was like in farmland. There were 2 gates you had to do. You had to avoid some cows. It was crazy. It was really wild. However, the brunch, they were also staying around, well, they weren't in Pismo. They were in Avila Beach, or Avila, I'm not exactly sure. But that was only like 10 minutes away. So nowhere was where we were. Everywhere
wow.
took travel. Like Los Angeles. It was perfect.
Complicated. Sounds very complicated.
So did they host these breakfasts and dinners at one of the houses?
Right. Okay. So the roommate party was at this like rental Airbnb house that they just hosted and whatever. Fine. The, girlfriend family's brunch was at their hotel. But then they were like, well, there's an area by the pool that has like tables and a chair or whatever. And then it was like, well, hopefully no one else is there. No one else was there. So it was great. Worked out fine. Then the other activities were just William's family, our family. So that was just at this house that we were staying at.
Oh, okay.
So that was fine.
I know that Rosie and Kirk did the roommate party at the house that they rented, the Airbnb. And that's the thing about Airbnb today. It's like everything's so risky. They put like no parties. You're like, well, this isn't like a party. We're having people over in like a get together. But now there's cameras everywhere, and you're all of a sudden you get this fee that's like $500. You had a party. So Rosie was definitely nervous about it.
Oh, geez.
She was like, why am I the one hosting? I go, well, because you rented a house right next to where the boys have their rental house.
Right.
So convenient wise, unlike John's experience, it was right central. So it was like, sorry, girl, next time get one 20 minutes away and you won't have to host anything. So there you go.
Be inconvenient and then.
Exactly. So then what
Get
was
a
the
couple
last?
cows and some fences in the mix. Oh, no.
They
actually,
still had a party.
Yeah, the last thing was just a breakfast. The last day we were there. Now this was also Father's Day, so it was a co-celebrating time.
So wait a minute, did Michelle cook the dinner for the graduation?
Yeah, I mean that was just what were there, like 8 of us? But yes,
This just sounds exhausting.
that's why I'm telling you. Like, you thought Jack sounded exhausting. I was like, yeah, I was there for this one, and it was exhausting in a way because there was a lot of activities.
And you missed the moving part that got added on at some point too. Yikers.
I mean, they were, downplaying that. It was confusing. So John Paul was coming out of the dorm, so that was like, well, maybe it's not a big deal. Whereas William moving out, because if you rented a normal house, you might be able to keep your stuff there during the summer because you're paying that lease during the summer. So William leaving forever, but was also going to Europe the next day.
What?
So there was a weird like, oh no, I'm focusing on going to Europe, but I also have to move out. But whatever. So who knows? I haven't heard.
Oh my God. That's going to be a long conversation to hear the details from James for you.
Wow.
Supposedly it all worked out, but holy moly.
I mean, it's days later, so theoretically it's fine.
And a trip to Europe, that I did not know was happening. How long is that?
Yeah, I forget how long. It's like 5 major cities. I don't know if it's like 2 weeks or something. But
Good
yeah.
for him.
Yeah, fun.
Nice.
To be young in Europe with a backpack and not a care in the world.
I mean, sure.
We kind of did it.
We
but-
kind of did that.
I did ask that question. I was like, oh, so you're going to backpack or is it trains? I was like, well, I was like, all right.
We didn't really
never mind.
backpack either. I mean,
Who's he
Okay,
going
fine.
with? Do we know who that is?
Yes, I have their names. And
no, we don't need their names. Oh
No,
my gosh.
yeah, it was
these
just
kids.
fellow,
Just a group.
I think it was some of the roommates or the fraternity mates or whatever. It was part of that group.
Girlfriend? No girlfriend.
I believe it was only guys. It was not a couple's trip.
Okay, interesting.
Just a couple of bachelors with their degrees.
Okay, so then Father's Day, you were driving back to LA, basically.
Yeah, so I got to enjoy the very fun Santa Barbara, road project.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The
on
Santa
a
Barbara Road
weekend.
Project. What's that? Is
It's
it
like
shut
crazy.
down?
Yeah, they're redoing the medians and whatever. So it was like 1 lane on our side. It was actually worse going up, which they never went down to 1 lane. It was still 2 lanes, but it was like, an extra hour and a half. Whereas going down, they at one point, or heading south, it was down to 1 lane, but it was like an extra 20 minutes. So.
They
Wow.
started that project on the freeways way back when they had that horrible flood.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
the creek rose and just, it was horrendous. People died and all that. And then because of that, they've kind of redone that whole area of where either water would get diverted or so on and so forth. So it's been years.
Still working on it. Yep.
And I had the
Wow.
same thing where I got caught one time and it was like, oh my God, what is happening here? And it sounded like 1 lane on the 101. You're like,
Oof,
yeah,
jeez.
that's not going to work, people. Civil engineers, somebody figure this out. So then Father's Day, our father, for those of you who do not know, has passed away. It's now been, yikers, 40, 30, 2 years? 32-ish years. Okay. So then there's years that you kind of go like, well, I don't have a dad. Like, who am I celebrating? And I've a lot of girlfriends now. I was on a text chain with a couple girlfriends. My girlfriend Carrie just lost her father this year. My girlfriend Tara lost her father recently. There were a couple of people on this thread, my girlfriend Kimmy, and we're all sharing pictures of our dads because it's like, it's just one of those things where, you celebrate your dad. Like, I technically don't have a dad. Mm-hmm. And my father-in-law is gone as well. So the father figures are gone. So then, for those of us who are married, it switches to like, Oh, God, we got to do something for the husbands.
Father of the children.
Oh, the worst.
This guy again. Ugh.
Well, I mean, the thing is, Mark's birthday is June 1st, and 2 weeks later is usually Father's Day.
Right, so it's a
I
double
am a little
whammy,
over it by this point, where it's like,
We've celebrated you.
we're done with you. No, never no celebrating Mark.
Well, at least his birthday is first. It's not the other way around, where like, the birthday
True.
post the holiday, the mid-January one. Yeah, that's not the party. Everyone's wrapped on the holidays.
yeah, that's you. That's what you're referring
Yeah.
to. So we've had
And
all
Dad,
the, yeah.
FYI, this is one of his shirts.
Nice.
Oh,
I
that's
recognized
sweet.
it.
I recognize it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
Dad.
Yeah, so I think that, then it changes to something different, remembering your father that passed away. But at the same time, then if you have other fathers or father figures in your life, celebrating them. So it's a little different. And Rosie had sort of Jack had a party for like his friends and some of his friends' families the night before. So Rosie's like, are we going to do brunch Sunday morning? And I was like, are you going to be up for it? Because I had gone to a graduation Saturday day and then was like, all right, I'll make it back and dip into Jack's and all that. Yeah, I was like, I'm not going to be up for brunch either because I had a busy weekend. So
That seems like you didn't do enough for them, but okay.
true. So then Sunday, it was like, well, let's pick up some food and we can hang all together. And what recently they've done, and they just this is my objection. They did this on Mother's Day too, okay? So on Mother's Day, it was like, thank God my husband went inside and got out of the jacuzzi and made a charcuterie board because it was like, I mean, we need one on Mother's Day, right? But they sat in the jacuzzi, the two guys, smoking cigars. Now, I don't want to sit in jacuzzi having cigar smoke blown on me. So Rosie and I never got in the pool or the jacuzzi on Mother's Day. Like we were not really relaxing. We had a fabulous brunch. Then we had leftovers from Ethan's confirmation. So we're like having leftovers on. We had a fabulous brunch. So let's just leave it at that. I'm not going to complain. But so I can't.
But not fully relaxed.
Hey. It's Mother's Day, not Mother's Evening.
It was like a Mother's Day. No, I like a Mother's weekend. I am like Friday hits and I'm like, and I did the same thing for Mark. I put up like Father's Day banners starting Friday. I'm like, it's starting. It's all about you now. Okay. And he's like, what? So on Father's Day, it's like, yes, have cigars, be in the jacuzzi. We'll stay out of your way. Mother's Day, it's like, no, you're still in the jacuzzi having cigars. You can't
get out of it. Come on.
No.
That's uncool.
No.
You guys should have had jurisdiction over that.
And I even did the barbecue. I barbecued so Kirk didn't have to.
Love it.
So I felt like they really had a nice, but I do have to say, leaving that night, okay, bye. Jack's party's over and his group of friends have left for a bar. And normally I'll stay and help Rosemary, but it had been like such a long day. And the night before I was out, Mark's like, we got to go. The next time I saw Rosemary, she was like cross-eyed from like,
staying up late cleaning up.
Oh, God.
Well, and it was just less family than normal. So, like, I wasn't there, Ginny wasn't there, extra people who could have helped.
No, it was
often...
It was not really a family party. It really was him and his friends celebrating the graduation because it's like there's 4 or 5. And then it was a lot of the families that went up from grade school and summoned to high school with them. So, yes.
Look, I get that it wasn't a family-only party. I was just trying to say that family was also invited and we would have helped her, but we weren't there.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. So it just was, it was a lot. And the next day it was sort of like, okay, I guess get in the jacuzzi and have your cigars, Father's Day, and we'll make the charcuterie platter and we'll do all the food. But it was very nice. I think the guys had a very nice day and afternoon. And the day before, we'd been at that graduation party, which was Mark's college fraternity brother's kid, and also celebrating his birthday, his 50th. So that was super fun to see all those like fraternity guys as well. So it was just a cram-packed weekend of dads, dudes, grads.
I will say.
Yeah, what did Eric want?
Oh, look, I didn't do a whole lot.
Shocker.
What I did do was get out of the way of him getting a new TV. He wanted a new TV and he kept framing it like, for Father's Day, I'm getting a new TV. And I'm like, well, you're a grown man. Get yourself a new TV. Because I thought our TV was fine, but he was like, no, because of this and that and whatever. I mean, true, I constantly had to go into the menu and change the settings of the color because I didn't like how it looked, because I'm very persnickety, and that was driving him insane. And now he's like, no, this one will have an automatic and it'll fix things. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Wow.
So we didn't really do a whole lot for Father's Day, but he did get a new TV. So he's
Did he
very
put it
happy.
up on the wall and get it all installed?
He had them install it. Like, so he got the
They came on Father's Day?
It didn't come on Father's Day. When did it come, John? It was like he got clearance for it because of Father's Day.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be about a week and a half before, and then it ended up being like that week, but like Monday.
Yeah, it was supposed to be, I think it was supposed to be Saturday, so it would have been in the house on Father's Day, but then that didn't happen.
There wasn't any special food. I mean, Eric always has he used me all into donuts, not to donuts.
I think I defrosted some chocolate croissants.
Defrosted?
So
Oh,
those,
the
you know how you have to do
Trader Joe's, yeah.
overnight? the
Those are
croissants,
good.
So they
All right,
lift or whatever.
I'll let
So
you
they
have
had
that. Those are
those in the
good.
morning. I did not have one, but they had those. Did I get up and bake them? I don't think I did. I think I just took them out. Yeah, it was, and then I think we got some takeout in the evening, and it was a little underwhelming, but he seemed happy about it.
I went and picked up the bagels even and made the nice brunch. I
Nice.
never go to the bagel shop anymore.
When did you pick up the bagels?
Sunday. They had to be fresh. And luckily,
Fresh.
Mark had told me, he goes, when you walk in, there's going to be a big line. But to the right, there's going to be a line that you can shortcut and just say, I want a dozen bagels. I walked in, and there's a super long line of people getting their sandwiches and this and that and da-da-da. And on this side, it says bulk orders and this and that. So it does not say get a dozen bagels. So I just went over there. I'm like, and they were so harangued, this poor staff. And so I'm like, hey, it was finally one because ring up and over, he's about to go next. And I go, can I get just a dozen bagels here? I mean, there's 50 people in line. He goes, yeah, sure. So I just till I cut the line. And I'm like, but Mark told me to do this. So I think it is kosher.
He must know because he does it.
So I was back very quickly.
Nice.
Yes, it was nice. I was like, all right. So I didn't defrost. Everything was fresh.
Wait, so this was not an official two-family brunch, but there was a single-family brunch.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just made Mark, he had just his own individual brunchola.
Well, the other thing we have to touch on before we wrap up all of the graduation stuff is Sarah technically graduated.
Oh my gosh.
So she got her degree in graphic design, her bachelor's degree, and she did not want to go to the ceremony.
I know, it's
at
kind of
all.
odd.
It was interesting because I really felt like we have to respect her wishes. It was not something that she was excited or comfortable going to because it was going to be anxiety inducing, too big of a crowd, and kind of in her mind, what's the point of that if I'm going to get all stressed out? She didn't want to do it. And I felt like it's really important to be like, okay, that's your decision. It's your graduation, but I still wanted to do something to celebrate it because it's a huge milestone and a big accomplishment that she made it through because she had to work through a lot of health issues and keep going. And I'm very impressed that she did it and really happy for her. And so I just went to Party City and bought tons of decorations. And on the day that they were having the graduations at CSUN, which is where she went, Cal State University Northridge, right?
Semi my alma mater. I didn't finish there, but I did go there.
It's a great school. Eric went there as well.
The earthquake, although very devastating to LA, that was one of those places that benefited because it then beautifully kind of got redone in a lot of ways.
Yeah. So we, on the day that they were having their graduation ceremonies, I just decorated. I threw a whole bunch of stuff up and I bought her a cake. And she was very cute.
Did you play the Pomp and Circumstance song?
No, I should have. And made her walk down the hall or something.
I think I suggested a little bit of that. Why don't you just do a little graduation for her? Just
you
give her-
did.
There
And you
go.
branded it a celebration, I think. No, what was it?
Ceremony?
There you go.
Ceremony.
Oh, yeah. Ceremony. That could have been it. Celebration. I forgot.
I thought it was celebrate, yeah.
You better celebrate.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, you don't remember.
I don't know.
your
I don't
own
remember.
He does
fantastic
too many
pun.
puns.
Yeah.
There's too much of it.
But it was
You
a
can't
really
remember all
good,
of it.
I mean, it
That's
was
a pun I gave away.
Yeah.
I don't remember those.
it was really good for her to feel like she had the authority to say, I don't want to go. I don't want to do that. Because it's so unusual for people to even realize that's an option. You go to your graduation. And she was like, no, it's going to be terrible for me personally. I don't need to stress myself out like that. I'm like, okay. So it was a little underwhelming for me, but it's not about me. So it was like, she got her degree. She is happy with that. She allowed me to do this funny little home celebration. And then when we all got together for first Sunday of the month dinner, we did a sort of combo celebration for her and Jack. And I made them wear like little hat
cute.
things and took some pictures. So, it was not the ceremonies that people are used to, but it was enough of a marker. What? Ceremony. Yeah, I think it was ceremony.
It must have been a graduation ceremony.
See,
Yeah.
I owe her a check because she didn't have something that I realized. I'm like, oh, she's another one I owe a check to. There's a lot of check writing. And then you're like, okay, so 8th grade is like $25. High school is maybe $50. College is more like $75 to $100.
Ooh.
I don't know. Does that include inflation? Lately, that seems like off by about a factor of 10.
Mean too little?
Eighth grade, here's $250.
No!
I hope you can get lunch this year.
Oh, jeez.
No, you'd go broke if you did
Yeah,
that.
I think I went too low because I did Amazon gift cards $50.
No,
That's what I did.
that's totally
I don't
great.
know.
No. I think
Which I still have Williams. I need to get it to him before I spend it. Be like, maybe he doesn't
Yes, I
need
got to put
it.
a check in the mail for William. There's some, you're just like the ant roll. Oh, it's so expensive sometimes. It's like, oh my goodness. But, very impressed by all these graduates, the next generation, and there's more to come. So many of them are in the pipeline of college and all these things. And we've got a few high schoolers.
My thing is always like college or not. It doesn't matter. Figure out your own path. A lot of them are doing college, and then obviously some lawyers and doctors in the mix now. So even higher
no plastic
education.
surgeon, no criminal lawyers, nothing helpful.
So far, we don't need either of those, I don't think.
No
but-
cardiologist. Come on. She's in pediatrics. No help for me.
Yeah, we're over that.
I will say, on a totally different note, we did get with Teresa being the DJ as we drove up and down.
What kind of music was that?
Well, you cater to the quote unquote most important person in the car, so Grand Mary. So
Was it John Denver? What did she play?
Of the 4 artists we know that she likes. So one was a total surprise because eventually she not gave up, but like, okay, now I'm just putting it on a Spotify oldies playlist or something. And the Beetlejuice song, Deo, Harry Belafonte, come on. Apparently, she loves that song.
Sang along.
Really?
And like,
what?
She's like, oh, I drove my dad crazy with this song. I loved it so much. And I was like, I've never heard of this ever, or from you. I had no idea.
That is so funny.
Deo.
And
Really,
Beetlejuice
Grand
is
Mary?
So not her vibe.
Yeah,
of the
hasn't
movie,
seen
so
the
that
movie.
wouldn't be like, oh yeah, from that
that's-
movie. We remember when you told us.
That's not the reference point. No.
And theoretically, I forced this because I wanted to get the full recollection. But I was like, okay, so these sisters of mine have mentioned this Maurice Sendak Really Rosie record. That
Yeah,
they
it's
play
amazing.
And, got rid of before I was around.
No, it's around somewhere. Doesn't Rosie have the actual LP or the record? Or
I
whatever?
know. We picked up this record and we're like, it was fabulous. But John should never listen to it.
Pretty much. I had never even heard of it. I had no idea.
First of all, records. That thing just got scratched to hell and was unplayable.
Oh, yeah, well,
what
that's
should have
probably
kept
true.
the
Yes,
vinyl
exactly.
and
That's probably
that
true.
cover.
Skip,
and
skip,
if
skip,
Rosemary doesn't have that like framed and up on a wall someplace pretty soon, I'm gonna be impressed.
Yeah.
Yes. So believe me, it was nothing sliding against you.
But to just realize that it existed. Okay, so
Yeah, so realizing for the first time. So I was like, Teresa, you should try to find that because then we can ask Grand Mary if she remembers it. Just like, did she hear you guys playing it? Was she aware of it? Or like usual, does she have no idea?
I've never heard this before.
Exactly. So on the way back, we found it. It's just on Spotify. Carole King's. It's apparently what I didn't realize is Really Rosie was a special in 1975 that Maurice Sendak. Okay, I have all these books already. We're gonna expand from this, not the Nutshell Library books, but this Rosie book to this whole, neighborhood world idea for this, half-hour special. And then it later became a Broadway musical. Grand Mary totally recognized it and knew it. So apparently you guys did allow her in on that.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
played it a lot, and anything that would keep us occupied that wasn't television, of course. So we did play the albums, you know, that were available to us quite often. In that
I mean, I do
household.
remember having dance parties to not just Really Rosie, but like Neil Diamond and just like in the living room, just with whatever we had.
I'm kind of a folk artist taste, which is not really good for a jam session.
Yeah,
or
no. So
dancing.
John Denver, Neil Diamond. Oh, I want to say
Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Yeah.
no.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, really? Okay.
Dragon lived by the sea.
I
and a
mean, yeah.
guitar, you know, we're all going to stare at each other while we sing and harmonize. That's like our entire childhood. Oh, Lord.
Honestly, that gives all of us the level of appreciation that you need for the character that Fred Armisen and Kristen Wiig did on SNL.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
trying to like sing together. "Ah, la, la."
Oh, I mean, yes, I think it was practically because it was very intensely looking at each other.
I can't have someone sing to me.
Judy Collins
yeah,
is another one. We were just, it was so like, was she trying to put us to sleep? What was happening here?
See, this is the tough part. If you ask her, it's like 3 artists that those first 3 we didn't get to that 4th one because she's like, I don't remember.
Judy Collins was one of her favorites.
Oh, yeah, I
Send
think
in
so.
The clowns. Wait, they're already here. It's like, Jesus. Or would you like pantomime to it? Send in the clouds, you know.
But then also, didn't Dad have a collection of show tune type albums?
Yes,
we
yeah,
had.
Oklahoma, where the wind goes sweeping down the plain.
I was gonna say Jesus Christ Superstar was in there.
Superstar. I will say when we started to buy our own albums and bring them home, that is when they were like, holy crap, wait a minute. Because you'd go
Yeah.
down and buy a little 44 and be like, for $1. And then it was like, I think for a birthday, Mom's like, here is a little 44 player. Go up into your
Go
closet
away.
upstairs
Yeah.
and play it.
Go
by
entertain yourself
yourself.
somewhere else.
Yeah. And
I-
I still have some of them.
I got it wrong. I know this much from the St. Mel's. What was the gift
Bazaar,
the St. Mel's Bazaar that I bought a gift for. All of
The
my family
Santa
members.
Fair? No, what was it called? It was
Workshop.
Santa's workshop.
Oh, Santa's
Yes.
Workshop.
Oh, that. Okay.
And you had I have $10. I got to buy presents for everyone, and just walk around to all the tables. It's basically a 99-cent store nowadays. But they had some stuff back in the days, and man, you could scavenge. And I really thought I nailed one for you, Liz. I really thought I crushed this 45.
Are there 45s? I'm
It
saying
was the
44.
It was the Pointer Sisters jump. It was the wrong jump. You wanted Van Halen's jump,
no.
and I got you jump.
David
Oh,
Lee
you
Roth.
love. But
I think I begrudgingly played it.
You
because
totally
what
loved
were-
it. Anyways,
what were
you
the
felt
odds?
like
Yeah.
I have 4 albums. This
What
is
am I
one
going to
of
do?
them.
One was Judy Garland, too. I mean, I don't know, because I found it was like Dad's, and it was like, it was maybe whatever, like, clang, clang, clang with the trolley, jang, jang. It was like, oh my God. And you'd be in a closet in 90-degree, heat in our house, air conditioning in the summer. Yeah. We'll that's summer tales. So let's
Summer tales.
wrap up
Perfect.
graduations and Father's Day.
We're almost into summer, so that'll be
There
the
you
next
go.
thing. What, John? You disagree?
I mean, people have graduated, so usually
is summer?
school is out.
School's out forever.
Not the equinox yet, John.
Yeah. The equinox, the summer. Oh my gosh. Stop.
School's out for summer, but for my son Adam, who is attending summer school, he was out for 1 week, and now he's going back to summer school. So he was like, what? That was very short.
I wouldn't even
Different
told.
kind of summer school than I experienced and maybe Liz experienced.
No. I hate summer school. We're not going to talk about summer. Okay.
No.
Okay, so that's it. But we want to say congratulations to all the graduates and everybody out there that graduated from whatever you graduated from. Kudos to you. Congratulations on your culmination.
On your achievement. And also happy Father's Day to all the dads.
Yes, to all the dads.
All right, so that is it for this episode. So thank you for joining us, and you can follow us on all of our social media at Family DynamiKs with a K. You can watch us.
I'm much more animated, so I think it's worth
know.
watching.
And you don't even do caffeine at all. So you're like really with it. You can watch all our episodes on YouTube at the Knack Entertainment YouTube channel. So that's it for
Oh my God,
what?
I'm just watching myself on the screen. You guys.
Why? What?
I was like, that's been a
Here's
bad
the
habit
camera
since
and
childhood.
here's
I
the
know.
monitor. So she's like,
yeah. So goodbye, everybody. I'm gonna look you directly in
Okay.
the eyes, like I'm a folk singer. Goodbye.
All right. Thank you for joining us on Family
Family
Dynamics.
Dynamics.